Wow, that skipped the intro. Hi, everyone. And now it did the intro. I love this. I love OBS. It's like Elgato announced a new Stream Deck, and they just decided that, hey, this is how things happen now. Anyway, happy Friday. Welcome to today's News Night episode 110. This isn't going at all how I planned it, but I'm your host, Steve Bowling. I'm joined, as always, by my good friends and GVG co-founders, Ash Paulson in the upper left, Derek Bittner in the upper right, me here on the bottom. You just know it's going to be a weird day when the intro just decides to, go do its own thing. It's Friday. We're all ready for the weekend, apparently. So is OBS, and so is our introduction. But whether you're here, I just got a message on Steam that definitely played the alert on our show from, no joke, I'm just going to share this with y'all, from my estranged father, which is
what?
Yeah, I don't know. It's a weird day, I guess. Yeah, I just got a message from my own biological father that said, "Are you Steve Bowling?" I'm just going to answer no.
What in the world?
I have...
For those of you that don't know, I was adopted when I was 9 by my dad. My mom remarried. I had a horrible experience with my biological father. Heavy stuff. Happy Friday. Anyway, before we get too far into just utter depression, I guess, we do have a sponsor for this episode, and I'm stalling here because I'm pulling up the copy. But this episode is brought to you by The Soul Device, by our good friend and ardent supporter Straightlace. The Soul Device is a puzzle platformer where the player can create temporary platforms by shooting projectiles onto walls at the cost of HP to navigate the environment. In celebration of the game's 3rd anniversary, a new challenge pack has been added to the game, with new puzzles to complete that unlock abilities for the player to use in the main game. 8 puzzles have been added so far, and Straightlace is currently working on more, with other rewards, such as controlled jumping. Straightlace is also in the early planning stages of a new soulless mode, where the game's map will be altered and the difficulty raised, and the player won't have access to the Soul Device, but will unlock new abilities in exchange. The Soul Device is available now for free on Steam. Thank you so much, Straightlace. We appreciate you with as much as you've supported us. And we're going to have a lot to say about Steam on this episode, I have a feeling. Crazy.
Just a little bit.
Yeah, exactly. But that is definitely, wow. I'm sorry, I'm thrown off. Like this whole episode started funny.
Yeah, you might want to close Steam.
Yeah, exactly.
Maybe. Yeah, I
Steam,
probably can't hurt.
I just need you to go away for a minute. That's what I get for trying to pre-order a Steam Link today, I guess.
And speaking of it being a weird Friday, I'm not sure exactly what this means. This might be more post-show material, but BJ Bovia in our YouTube chat says Steve is on the bottom as he deserves. Not sure what he means by that.
I don't know. But
yeah.
I mean, I thought we were buddies. Unless he's saying like I'm a bottom, which
that's what I'm wondering.
That's what he's saying, Steve.
The context? Okay.
I don't know. Never
He
found
says,
out.
I will not elaborate. Yeah.
My
question, Steve. Do you enjoy Peggle?
Oh wow!
I've played a game or two of Peggle in my life.
Who doesn't enjoy a game or two of Peggle?
Yeah, exactly. Peggle.
Leave that
it is a Friday for sure.
Wow, this is one hell of a start. Anyway, we're gonna do something new. So I know y'all have feelings about potpourri segments. We don't have one of those today. I actually put something together, which is a little bit different. So today, I'm going to go ahead and get our first story up on screen.
Before that, we do have some
I'm sorry. Yes, super chats. Man, I'm all over the place. Derek, would you mind reading those out while I catch up to the world?
Sure thing. First up is Radberry, who actually did this before we even started with a $9.99 donation saying, "I'm so glad to finally catch you all live. I'm a GM at my current job, so I listen to GVG every morning to get through it, and I can't appreciate you guys enough for what you do." Well, thank you so much. Hope you enjoy the chaos because it is all over the place today. So
yeah,
glad you could actually make
episode. Yeah, but thank you so much for the kind words and for supporting us. We really appreciate it, and you picked a great episode to swoop in on.
Yeah, you did.
Yeah.
Blaze Star 25 then with a $5 donation saying, today's my birthday. Got Skyward Sword along with the themed Joy-Cons and Amiibo today. Excited to play for the first time and glad I can spend today with you. That is awesome. Congratulations. Awesome. My Amiibo and Joy-Cons are on the way. Well, I should say the Joy-Cons are aiming at the Amiibo's mind. Well, kind of is too.
Nice.
But we still got to pick up the game.
I don't have the game yet. I don't have the. I don't know if I'll get the amiibo. I might. I wasn't even going to try to get the Joy-Con. But before we started the show, Steve was saying they're actually a little bit more ubiquitous than I thought they would be. Maybe a little bit easier to find. So I might actually go out and try to find them.
Yeah, I didn't have much trouble last night locating some at Target. However, I did find out like Amazon just has them on treasure trucks. So if you live in an area where the Amazon treasure truck is a thing, which Ash, you're in LA. I'm certain it's somewhere. if there's one near me, there's one almost certainly near you. Then go. If you're interested in those Joy-Con, pick them up. They're honestly not nearly as hard to find. The Amiibo, on the other hand, woof. That is difficult to locate.
I got that pre-ordered.
Yeah, I'm really upset that I didn't nab a pre-order. Fortunately, I'm on the fence, so I don't want to call out the person that's helping me out in case it doesn't work out. But I had tweeted earlier, I was like, so anybody got one of them Zelda amiibos? And I do have a friend who is trying to acquire one for me, so hopefully I'll find out later today if they were able to do that or not. But yeah, it's I haven't used it yet, but the game, the game. Nice. Yeah. I played an hour on stream, and I mean it's Skyward Sword, so if you like it, you'll like it a bit more. If you hated it, you're going to hate it a bit less. Like, I really don't think that it's going to, it's not a mind-blowing revelation change.
I don't think there's anything in there from any of the previews that change it in the fundamental level in the same way that Wind Waker's Fast Sail did.
Right. I agree with
shortening
that.
the Triforce quest. So
it's funny. I was talking to my good friend and good friend of the channel, Aaron Cooper, this morning about Skyward Sword HD, and we were both kind of aligned on the fact that we're looking forward to replaying it because we mainly it's certainly neither of our favorite 3D Zelda games. It's kind of a little bit lower on the list for both of us, but there are things we like about it a lot, and we both agreed that we only really remember the really high points and the really low points. Everything in between is a bit muddled for us. We don't really remember all the connective tissue in the game as much. So I'm looking forward to kind of re-experiencing it for, not the first time, because I beat Skyward Sword, but just it feels almost like it'll be the first time again whenever I do get around to it, because I really only remember the stuff I super loved about it and stuff I really hated about it. And everything else is a bit of a blur.
Yeah. I will hold my opinions to myself, because spoilers, my recollection tomorrow is on Skyward Sword, so I figured...
Oh, nice.
Nice. Yeah, I am on record publicly as loving Skyward Sword, so I'm excited to play through it again. But first hour was good. I'm not going to stream it anymore, though. I'm going to try over the weekend to just finish the game, because it's not a super long game. I'm going to try to...
No, well, it's lengthier than you think.
There's a lot of padding in that game.
I have probably... Well, no, Skyward Sword I beat like 3 times, but... I don't know.
Wow. Okay.
I think depending on, I'm not going to kill myself to do it, but my goal is to have it out by a week from today, so that by next Friday I can have a review out for it, because it's Zelda. Why not? So anyway, we do have, speaking of reviews or impressions in this case, let's go ahead and get our first quote unquote story up on screen. So, in the place of a usual story, I thought we could do something just a little bit different. So as y'all know, Mr. X Nightmare, the Streets of Rage 4 DLC pack released yesterday, I believe. And fortunately, our good friends at .emu and Lizard Cube were able to provide us each with review code for the DLC. And honestly, I think it's a little hard to make like a full-blown produced video review of like just a DLC expansion. But I thought we could all talk about our impressions with the DLC, since we've all had some time with it. I got it like last week on Steam. You guys got it more recently than that. I think just yesterday on Switch. But let me throw it to you first, Derek, because I know you guys are way bigger Streets of Rage fans than I am. I like the game, but I think you guys love the game. So what's your take after a day with the DLC?
My take was it actually is very subtle branding. Like I expected like to boot up the game and see Mr. X Nightmare, check this out and see everything out. And I had to actually ask you guys like, did I download it right? Where is it? And it's just
Right.
under survival mode. And you have that is the key new feature of this. You get 3 new characters and you get survival mode. But this is a much better survival mode than pretty much any other game I've been in, where usually it's just like the same stuff, no word, it's just like see how long you can last, score attack almost. It's just sort of a challenge to see how far you can go. But this is so much more because it is set up as like they hooked up to Mr. X's brain and they were thinking of the most devious things that he can come up with and all the craziest things that you could face. And it's random. You get random stages with random enemies and random power-ups between each one. So it's almost like a roguelite because you're building up your character as you're going through and getting choosing new abilities. Like, do you want to do I think one of them is like 20% more damage, 20% less damage taken, 20% more health, but you can no longer jump. That's one of the more extreme ones. But there's also like
Right.
do more damage with this or add a poison or electric effect to your attacks. Stuff like that. It's really changes up each time. And I was like, really, just a survival mode? I'm not sure about this. I don't know if it'll click. No, this thing's addictive. It is so cool to see how far you can get, what new powers you can find. And the great thing is, there's a reward to do it because you can unlock alternate attacks for every character. And so now all of a sudden you're trying to build through, fight through these, get these alternate attacks that can be used in other modes, by the way. And now all of a sudden you're getting a reward for going through this. And it's every character, even the old ones that you unlock. So it's pretty
Right.
cool how you can just, if you wanted just more gameplay with this, boom, there you go.
Exactly. Yeah, I mean, like you, Derek, I was surprised by the lack of the Mr. X Nightmare branding. You almost wouldn't know that you have it installed unless you are specifically looking for survival mode on the main menu, or you just notice the 3 new characters on the character select screen. But yeah, I think it's a lot of fun. I'm not usually the biggest fan of survival modes in games. It's just not something I've ever really
Same.
gotten that addicted to.
Same.
And I'm not sure Mr. X Nightmare is going to be too different for me. I agree that there is an addictive quality to it, and there's a lot more to it than I thought there would be. Like all the different perks you can get. Some of them, as you said, Derek, are double-edged swords. Like one of the ones I think is you can every hit you land on an enemy heals you, but food no longer heals you at all, and stuff like that. So there's really interesting stuff that happens. It's to really switch the gameplay around and really make you think on your feet and consider different tactics and can really consider what different moves to use. And I think it really highlights just how subtly deep the gameplay and the combat in Streets of Rage 4 is. And that is absolutely its greatest strength. I'm just not sure it's something that I see myself going back to specifically over or above and beyond just going back and playing the main game. Right? Because I love playing the main game, period. I've replayed Streets of Rage 4 so many times. I'm already looking forward to doing it as the 3 new characters. I took them all for a spin last night. And I'm sure I'll come back to the, to Mr. X Nightmare, like the survival mode sometimes, but I don't know if I'll come back to it more than I would just playing the main game itself.
See,
Though unlocking those alternate moves is an attractive prospect, and I have already unlocked a few for Blaze, and they're all new animations. Like they completely change up what you can do in terms of like your blitz move and your defensive specials and your offensive specials. So there's a lot to dig into here, but I can see it getting maybe a little grindy, especially because there are 4 to 5 moves to unlock for every single character in the game, except for the Streets of Rage 1 characters, which only have 1 move each. But I could see it taking a long time to get everything. That said, our good friend of the channel and our composer of our theme song, T. Lopes, did the soundtrack for Mr. X Nightmare, and it is
songs, yeah.
awesome. I think my favorite one so far. I'm looking at the track list right now, and I think I haven't had a chance to like match each song with the name, but I think the one I'm thinking of is Spotlight Somersault, which plays in the wrestling ring arena of Mr. X Nightmare, and it reminds me of like a Yakuza battle theme, and it's awesome. So hats off to Mr. Lopes for delivering yet another fantastic soundtrack.
Yeah, I actually talked to T a couple days ago because he sent over a Bandcamp link to the soundtrack that he composed for Streets of Rage. And we are working on getting him on the show soon.
Yes.
He's talking to, I didn't know this, apparently T has his own PR person. So he's working with his PR folks to determine when would be a strategically wise juncture at which to join us for one of these episodes. So hopefully T will be on the show soon. He told me he definitely wants to do it. But I got his real quick going around. We haven't talked too much about the new characters. I personally have not been able to peel myself off of Shiva. Like, he is just like, what if Liu Kang wasn't a narc? Like, I love Shiva. He's got just ridiculous aerial moves. Like, I'm addicted to like popping people up in the air with Shiva and then following through with that full like 5-hit midair combo that he can do.
I love that. Yep.
Yeah, I saw someone the day that this came out already found like an infinite for Shiva where they would do that combo, then do, I think it's Hashinsho, like his Y button special where he like dashes and just you get smacked a bunch of times, and then they would find a way to just infinitely juggle someone with that. It was so cool.
I can believe it.
It's such a cool looking move too.
I was very surprised that and maybe I'm wrong on this, but I couldn't get Shiva to pick up a weapon. He just like flips it up and kicks it.
He doesn't. That's the thing. He never uses his hands to hold things.
Yeah.
So it's all, you can only throw it at other opponents.
That is so awesome.
And one of the things he actually says when you select him on the character select screen is, I don't need a weapon. I am the weapon.
Oh, that's right.
No, it's apt. Yeah. So that's just kind of and he never used weapons in the previous games either. So that's kind of like a thing with him.
Nice. Yeah. One thing that I really liked about the survival mode, I'm kind of in the middle between you and Derek in terms of my interest in it. I really like it. I'm definitely interested in unlocking the moves. I've unlocked 3 of Shiva's moves so far. But I do agree that the main draw for me is still just going back to the campaign and playing that. Like, I really, really love the campaign in this game. And I was hopeful that Mr. X's Nightmare, or Mr. X Nightmare, I always want to call it Mr. X's Nightmare.
Me too.
I don't know. There's something in my brain that can't process Mr. X Nightmare. But I agree, with what both of you said, the branding is really hard to figure out. Like, especially with if you've never reviewed a game on Steam, they send you what's called like a beta code, and you have to enter a password to get into it, and so you never really know if you got it. And when it's as not obvious as Streets of Rage 4, I was like, I must have done one of the 18 steps wrong and not got it. And I was like, I'll just go to survival mode, and all the characters were there. I was like, all right, I guess this is it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I do really enjoy the I like what they've added. I think it's a worthy update. If you still want to play more Streets of Rage and you have $8 burning a hole in your pocket, go for it. It's really, I would say it's worth the very low asking price.
Yeah, especially if you've played the main game to death and you just love it. You just want more, the new characters and just an endless mode. Because you guys always return to the campaign, and the campaign is fantastic. But this offers new levels. These are barely ever pulled from the main game, as well as like set levels that have they always go out the same, but it changes every 2 days, every 48 hours. So they have a way to kind of keep things fresh constantly and challenge yourself and go through that, which I do enjoy. There are 2 things I should mention though, one, the Switch version is still not working for people who did not get codes like us. Something's going on with it. Yeah, I think it's apparently going to get approval from Nintendo, even if they do get it. So they're not even sure it's going to happen until like next week, which sucks because I was hoping to play with Ted of Brain Scratch. And we've had him on the show before because he loves this game, and it would have been great to have him on, but he can't play it, so he can't join us. That
is very weird.
Yeah, I don't know what happened there. Some sort of glitch with being able to download it and get it played. That said, I saw somebody asking if it's online. Yes, you can play the survival mode online with somebody. So that is all there. Can see it a great way to play with friends and just have, play this to death. And I am my favorite character, and I knew it was going to be Estelle. Estelle is fantastic. I love her moves, the just brutal ways. I feel like you can really combo that with her as well, and just come up with some crazy things. Although I don't know if this is an actual thing or not, because I have not had a chance to play a ton, but what I have played, I've really enjoyed. Harry Waterhouse is asking if we have unlocked the secret character.
There is indeed a secret character. I don't want to spoil who it is.
Heard about that. Okay,
Steve, if you could do me a favor and type in general who that.
I think I know who it is. I really hope I'm right about this because if yes, okay. I was hoping it was this character.
Okay,
yes,
okay,
all right. I don't want to spoil it, especially since folks that have purchased the Switch version can't even play it right now.
Right.
But yeah, it's an awesome special character.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, like, one of the only things I'm disappointed by is that this character still isn't playable, and that was like the one character I wanted them to add, and it looks like they did, and I have no idea how to unlock them. So, all right, well, it looks like I'm going to be figuring that out and playing a ton of whatever, if it is survival mode.
Yeah, now you're influenced and whatnot.
If I have to play a bunch of survival mode to get this character, I'm doing it because hell yeah, that's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
It's funny, Derek. I really, I figured Estelle was going to be your favorite, and I was really hyped to play her. I really love her design. I love her as a boss, but I'm sad to say she just isn't jiving with my play style as much as I was hoping she would. I don't dislike playing as her, but I felt like I was getting hit and dying a lot more often as her, just because I just can't, for some reason, wrap my gameplay style around the way she plays. And actually, surprisingly, I won't say he was my favorite of the new characters, but as you guys know, I tend not to favor heavy power characters, and so I wasn't really all that excited about Max. But I did take him out for a spin through some of the campaign levels, and not my favorite character still, because he's like obviously really slow, but man, his damage output is ridiculous. And I actually posted a clip of that last night when I was playing, of me just taking out most of the first boss's health with one combo.
Yep.
And it was just wild. But at the end of the day, I do have to come down on the side of Shiva. And in terms of the three new characters, Shiva is my favorite to play just because of those combos, man. Those wild ass combos. And I love just visually. I love the look of that dash move, or you were saying, Steve, where he dashes through and then there's just a bunch of hits happen. It's so cool looking.
There was a moment where I was going through survival and I had electricity, poison, and I think even flame on that move.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
And it just, I hit like one character, and I think I also had like chain, like you hit one character and it with one of those elements and it chains through the rest. And so I just covered half the map with those elements with that one move. I'm like, nice. I am a god.
Yeah.
Nice.
Felt so good.
She does a lot of fun. Yeah.
Oh yeah. It's an excellent DLC, man. I recommend it very, very highly. If you guys have Streets of Rage 4, I guess at this point on PC. If you have it on PC, then go pick it up there.
Well, worth picking up on Switch if you have that version.
It is. Unfortunately I didn't want to like ask for another code for Switch because I was like, oh, thanks for sending it to me on PC, but I enjoy playing this on Switch a lot more. But I'm happy for it. I don't think it has crossplay, which is unfortunate. So. But
I mean, it's still only 2-player online, which is unfortunate.
Yeah, exactly. There's some things they could fix. At least 3-player online. Come on.
Yeah,
maybe that'll be in Streets of Rage 5.
I really hope they do that. And speaking of Streets of Rage 5, one of my, obviously they're not confirming anything, but I do like that they said, obviously the story for Mr. X Nightmare is paper thin, but they're like, following the events of Streets of Rage 4 and defeating the Y Twins, our heroes realized they needed to be fully prepared for future threats. Come on, Streets of Rage 5. That's all I want.
I have to imagine it's sold pretty well.
Yeah, I hope so, man. Anybody who has not played this game, if you like beat 'em ups even a little bit, please play Streets of Rage 4. It is a distillation of everything that makes video games awesome. It is just so much fun to pick up and play, but there's also a lot of depth there if you really want to dig into the combat system, visuals, and the music.
Uh-oh. Ash was so hyped, he just disappeared. Yeah. What is it with Discord and Ash?
Yeah, Ash just Ash gets too hyped and that's it. That's it for him. But I mean, I agree with him. It's really good. I came into this. I saw a survival mode. I'm like, but it's addictive in a way. It has an addictive quality, and it's just it's fun. It takes what you like and adds some real challenge to it. That if for something a little different, if you want to do something that if you played the campaign mode to death already,
Absolutely. Just top right. Okay, wait, I'm back now. I guess. Okay, that's good. We need to hurry up and finish this show so I can go try this new character.
All right,
yeah, I'm really excited. It's a unlockable character.
All right, yeah. All right. So speaking of finishing up, we're probably I think we've covered Streets of Rage 4's DLC pretty well. Oh. There he is.
We're
okay.
We're good.
I don't know what's going on. I think my internet's going in and out is what it is, unfortunately.
Oh, lovely.
Eduardo Taina said it's because you don't have a keyboard, which agreed.
Yeah. Clearly, that's the reason why.
Yeah. No external keyboard means.
Yeah.
All right. So before we move on, we do have a couple of super chats. Radberry with a $4.99 super chat says, "When will we see a GVG Cross Spawncast crossover podcast?" I used cross instead of X because I don't read it that way. Thanks, Street Fighter Cross Tekken. Well, technically, I mean we've had Spawnwave on the show before. I would love to, hey, if they want to cross over with us, I am more than glad to make that happen. I think that would be a good time. I know that the Spawncast has tons of guests on it, so hey, room for 3 more? I'm down. Thank you for the super chat. And also, a Nerd's Ramblings with $20 with some great news for a Friday. Says, happy to report stomach ulcer and infections are clearing up, doing better. Question for Ash specifically. What do you think of the concept of a Mega Man in 3D? It being a mainly 2D series makes it hard for me to get into, to be honest.
Well,
and Ash is frozen.
Ash is so deep in thought.
Yeah.
He really wants to know. So I know it's for Ash specifically, but while we wait for Ash, I will tackle that. So I'm assuming when you say Mega Man 3D, you're meaning classic Mega Man in 3D. And I don't think that's an impossible thing. You'd have to, I think the slide would be very interesting. You just have to sort of think of it like a third-person shooter almost. And I think that's where it would get interesting. I'm trying to think of a game that kind of third-person shooter with a good bit of platforming. And actually, I just thought of one. You know what would be kind of awesome? A 3D Mega Man that played kind of like Ratchet and Clank.
Yeah, I could see that. Ratchet and Clank has really good gunplay, and it does incorporate like a lot of things that you expect to see in a Mega Man game.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm down for that. I mean, I was gonna go the snarky route and be like, well, Mega Man Legends is a thing, but you're totally right. Yeah, Mega Man Legends is probably what I think of most when I think of 3D Mega Man, just because I really love the formula, but I do agree that it is clunky and it hasn't aged to the greatest, but I feel like Ratchet and Clank
2 is better than 1 in terms of the clunkiness, but
true.
I mean, it's still PS1 era, so
yeah. I mean, but when I think of Mega Man, like I think of a fast moving character that has some agility because, I mean, hell, there's only so much you can do with NES level capabilities, but I mean, he was still dodging lasers and sliding under buzzsaws and all kinds of crazy stuff. And I feel like at least Rift Apart has elements of that in play. And I think that if they were to like ape that formula a little bit, that it would turn out pretty good.
Yeah, I could see that.
Yeah.
I'd be down. Sorry, we'll hopefully get Ash's thoughts on that whenever he returns to the Shadow Realm. But we also got Pyro Jack Daniel with the $2 donation saying Ash's own hype is breaking his internet. Yeah. That's Ash, all right. He'll break the internet for you.
Oh, wow. I just realized now. Okay, let's do this. Let's Oh, of course it plays the intro again. What kind of day are we having? All right, there you go. Hi.
It's one of those.
We're here. I just wanted to get Ash's remains off screen. All right.
Just brush those aside a bit.
Exactly. Just shoo them away. Anyway, we do have...
So Ash is in the chat. He says, "I'm so sorry, everyone. Our internet died. Spectrum confirmed." So yeah.
Okay.
Ash's
internet
is dead.
We will soldier on without our
At least we got his impressions.
Yes,
Ash,
that's right.
If you could in the chat talk about your ideal 3D Mega Man game.
There you go.
Just at a Nerd's Ramblings and let them know.
Yeah. All right. Moving on. Speaking of things that broke the internet today, Valve announced a new Switch-like PC called the Steam Deck. And not only did they announce it, but pre-orders have gone live since we last were here on TNT with y'all. And this is an interesting device. So pre-orders went about the way you'd imagine. Wow,
they promised there wouldn't be issues too.
They promised there wouldn't be issues. There were issues, because of course there were. They made a lot of promises they couldn't keep, and yeah, it was a nightmare. Pre-orders basically within seconds crashed. It was I tried to pre-order one because I'm a dork and I'm going to. I'm a mark for this kind of stuff, but I couldn't get in for about 2 hours. Steam was just really, really, really bad. But let's talk about the device itself. So this thing apparently runs, it has an AMD APU, which is like a Zen 2 architecture. It has 16 gigs of RAM, which if you put that in comparison, the Switch has 4. It comes configurable with 64 gigs of storage at the lowest end, which matches the OLED Switch, and goes all the way up to 512 gigs. It has a 1200 by 8
than a PS5.
Yep, it's way more expensive than a PS5. It has a 1200 by 800
mini SD slot
display. Yeah, it is essentially a Switch. It has a dock. You can hook it up to a TV if you want. The controllers aren't detachable. I suspect that is because a lot of the PC components are housed within the controllers themselves. This thing is an ergonomic nightmare. It is big.
I hate the look of it.
Yeah, it is about as big. They do a good job in the schematics on their website, making it look really svelte and like slim and trendy. This thing is like a modern Game Gear. It is so effing huge. The A, B, X, Y buttons are kind of like falling off the side, off the right-hand side. The D-pad is way up in the upper left, and they got these track pads down beneath the analog sticks. It is an off-putting design.
Yeah.
But I mean, there's a market for this. It ships with Valve's proprietary operating system, which, all right, cool. Like, that's kind of neat, but you can sideload Windows onto it, which means you could, in theory, have like Game Pass. You could have Android games on it once Windows 11 comes out, so you could play Ever Crisis on this thing. And of course, it being open source or whatever, means that you could load it up with emulators. So in theory, and some folks have already been saying this, you could play Breath of the Wild at 60 FPS on this thing, which, true. I mean, for $600 something, it better be able to play Breath of the Wild at 60 FPS.
That's all of your, existing Steam library. So that is the ideal, the kind of. I think that's the thing that's almost most attractive to the layman. Like I gotta figure out how to load up emulators on this thing. But if you're just a typical person buying this thing, it's like, oh sweet, I can have my entire Steam library in handheld and good to go. Don't have to worry about laptops or anything like this. I could just get comfy and go from there. And as Azran says, we could have a laptop as well, but not everybody has a powerful laptop or anything like that. There's things in here that make it a little more worthwhile. But that's the thing, is like, I think this will do well. I think the idea is sound. I'm not sure if this is going to eat into Switch's cake, we'll put it that way.
Not at all. I mean, so to give you guys some clarification on the price, and Assassin Man 1817, I'll get to you in just a sec, because I'm going to explain the differences first. So I did pre-order one of these. I managed to. Of course you did. I don't know when the hell I'll get it. But it was like, $5 down. So I was like, you know what? I'll do it, and if I'm still interested by the time they say they're going to ship it, then I'll follow through. But if not, $5. I don't, so it starts off at $399. That's $399. So that price point isn't too unattractive. But it comes with 64 gigs of storage, comes with a carrying case, but then you have to have Steam games, right? And The next step up is 256 gigs of internal storage, and it's $529. That starts to get into the iffy territory. Basically, it says the storage is faster. So the $399 uses eMMC internal storage, which, as I understand it, is basically equivalent to what's in the Switch, right? Like little flash, like soldered onto the motherboard. At the 529 model, you get an NVMe SSD. I suspect, and I don't have confirmation from this, I reached out to Valve, I asked them, they didn't respond. I suspect that this is like PCI Gen 3, so like the type of NVMe SSD that you would find in a modern mid-grade laptop. And then at $649 for 512 gigabytes, they have this one has a faster NVMe SSD. Now, my suspicion, without confirmation, is that is similar to what is in the PlayStation 5, which is just a faster breed of storage. Do I think games will be optimized for it? Absolutely not. Don't even start thinking about that. This thing's not going to have Ratchet and Clank level load times. And then for some reason they have premium anti-glare etched glass just on the $650 model. Then it comes with an exclusive carrying case. So somehow the carrying case you get is different. And then it comes with like a Steam, both the NVMe models come with a Steam community profile bundle, which you really couldn't give that to the guys that spent $400 on your thing. It's a profile thing. Like, it's just a badge. But, and this is probably my favorite bullet point, the $650 model comes with an exclusive keyboard theme.
Oh, thank goodness.
Yeah, that's it. That said, that's the one I ordered. I'm ashamed of myself. Trust me. I don't need your judgment. I'm judging myself. That being said, I really got it just for the 512 gigs of storage because PC games are effing huge. And
yeah.
I just don't know how you would live on 64 gigs unless you're only going to play indies, in which case you could probably get a device that is...
a Switch.
Yeah. You could get a Switch.
I mean, mini SD... they got that option at least, so you can get a pretty sizable one and expand your storage that way.
True, you can do that. And they do say, Valve says that internal storage is non-upgradable, so you can't like open this thing and slot in a bigger SSD if you want. Which, all right, I mean, cool. We'll see how this works out. But I agree with you, Derek. I don't think this is going to eat into the Switch's revenue at all. I think that this is going to be a very niche device that people like me will buy, and it'll end up being like a footnote. I think.
Well, I was going to say I've seen it a few times in the chats saying how basically this doesn't strike them as a Switch clone, which is of course what we use for the title for this thing for when we talk about this story, and it's not, but it's also kind of is. I mean, this. Really, you can almost see it as an upgrade to the Vita in a way, and how that was treated, because you could put the Vita on the TV as well. It's just how handheld games have kind of evolved at this point. The Switch is unique in the fact that it can more easily do that. Plus, it has the Joy-Cons you can do it. It has a few more options. That's the advantage to all this. I'm just saying possibilities here. It's very much its own thing. But let's be honest, the first time anybody saw this, they thought Switch.
Oh, yeah.
It's designed very much like a Switch. Honestly, it looks like a Switch cross Game Gear.
Yeah.
It's kind of wild in that way.
It is definitely... go ahead.
No, it's one of those things where I get it. I see the appeal of it. If I played PC games more often, I'd probably be much more intrigued. I mean, theoretically... you could play Final Fantasy 14 off this thing. You could play all the really cheap JRPGs that you can have on sale all the time and get that working on this thing. There's a lot of potential here, and I can see the appeal, but I think I'm going to wait on this one. I'm not going to dive head first. I want to see what people generally say about this thing before I dive in.
Yeah, I totally get that approach. I mean, I look at this thing as something where I'm definitely not going to run the software that they ship on it. I would put Windows on this thing in a heartbeat because similar to your line of thinking, I was like, oh man, I could play PSO2 on this. I could throw, which is a 90 gigabyte game, by the way, so I would have to get an upgraded model. But then I started thinking about Game Pass, and I'm like, okay, I could have portable Master Chief Collection, or other games like that. I could get all my Game Pass stuff, all my Steam stuff on one portable machine. That's kind of cool. And then the fact that I could dock it, but I think that this owes its existence to the Switch. Ever since the Switch became successful, Alienware has tried to make a Switch. Lenovo has tried to make a Switch. Now Steam is making something that, while technically not a Switch, borrows quite a bit from it. I mean, I don't think that this would exist without Nintendo's success in this space. I think people are seeing that the Switch is a wildly successful product and thinking, how the hell can we copy that? This is Kinect and the PlayStation Move controllers all over again. When Nintendo had the Wii and it was selling like hotcakes, everyone's like, oh God, motion control. We've been working on this all along. We swear. I get it.
Exactly. Pop it in.
Yeah, exactly.
I do like Captain Lineback and BJ Bovia in the chat mentioning you can get the Final Fantasy Pixel remasters on this and probably look pretty good.
Yeah.
Except for the font. Gotta get those font mods probably.
Yeah.
Oh boy, but yeah, I mean, I don't hate it, but it's also not something I'm like I gotta get. Obviously, that's different for you, but
I think that's going to be the difference for me. I'm more into this as somebody who just loves tech, and that's really where my interest lies, is just how moddable is this device? What can we do with it? How powerful is it in the long run? And I'm willing to throw down some money to find that out, but also we will see, right? Because I will probably get this long after the people who got their pre-orders in at like a reasonable time frame got it. So I'll probably have the benefit of like almost a year of people having this thing. and I might just say, you know what? I only have room for one 720p portable in my life, and Nintendo, you already got it. So we'll see. But you know what is going to look utterly fantastic, whether you play it in 720p or any resolution? Metroid.
Nice transition. Real quick before we jump into Metroid, we do have Radberry's $4.99 donation.
My apologies, I see that. So Radberry, $4.99 says, after seeing the Steam Deck, how will it come to Switch in your opinion? I'm a little perplexed by the question. So I'm assuming, do you mean like how will it compare to Switch? I think that
honestly, they're two very different things, and let's be honest, people buy Nintendo consoles for Nintendo games. It's always going to have that advantage.
My big thing is that I think that they're competing for different market segments. I'm one of the rare folks that those intersect for me, but I think I am very much in the minority on that. Like, I think that people that want to play Switch have probably already, if they can afford one, have bought one. And if you can't afford a Switch, there's zero way you can afford the Steam Deck. But I think that this is largely for the existing PC crowd that is kind of jealously looking on at the Switch, wanting something similar, but they don't want Nintendo games, and all right, I mean, you're allowed to have your bad opinion, but I think that they won't really be competitors. Which is why I try to couch and qualify a lot of my statements around this thing. It is Switch-like, but it's definitely not a competitor to it. I think those are just very different audiences that they're angling this toward, or else this thing would not be $600.
Absolutely.
Yeah, but thank you for the donation. We definitely appreciate it. Pyro Jack Daniel followed that up with a $5 super chat saying, now that I think about it, this could be great for Japanese consumers since they're mostly mobile and Sega is wanting to make their games be on Steam. I do think there's something there. I think, though, that there are considerations. Like, this is a big boy, and I feel like you guys need to see one. I mean, I haven't seen one, but I've seen comparisons. Like, it is the width of two PS Vitas side by side. That's big.
Yeah. Hold on. The width, like it's that thick or
long. Sorry, like two Vitas. Like,
oh my gosh.
Yeah, so it's a long boy. Like, you've got your hands out like this.
So just for comparison, my dusty old Vita, that's how long this thing is.
Yeah.
So
Double
two of
it.
these.
That's
a big boy.
That is a big honking boy. And wow, Franco Beltran with additional information about this in the chat. Steam Deck will not be launching in Japan.
Oh wow. So
there you go.
Yeah, 1.5 on the Switch. That'd give a size comparison on that thing.
That is huge. Oh
wow, nearly twice the weight of a Switch Plus Joy-Cons.
Yep.
That thing is not. It's portable, but it's also not portable.
Yep, exactly. I think this is more something that you have a dock in a room that is away from your normal PC, and you plop this down if you want to play elsewhere. But I can't imagine throwing a Steam Deck in my bag, unless I was just hopelessly addicted to a PC game. But I don't know. Thanks anyway for the super chat. We appreciate it. Every little bit of support helps. Now, let's get back to the lady of the hour, as it were. So Nintendo have published Metroid Dread Report Volume 3. This one touches on 7 points that define the 2D saga of Metroid, as they're calling it. And I'm not going to lie. I feel like this one was a bit of a gimme. I mean, number one is Samus. And yeah, she definitely I wouldn't say she defines only the 2D era of Metroid. And then 2 is the Metroids. They follow that up with 3 being 35 years of history, just outlining every game. And then they go to Exploration, followed up by Arsenal and Abilities, the Chozo, and then finally the X-Parasite. It's clear to me, but I want to get your take as our resident Metroid expert, Derek, but it seems to me like they're just trying to get a fan base that might be coming in hot to the Metroid series up to speed with what's going on.
That is absolutely what this is. I mean, the whole idea is they're saying like, okay, here's where we're gonna give you a breakdown of how everything you need to know when you start up the game. You can almost see these are pulled from cutscenes almost. A lot of the screenshots they have here. And we're going to definitely get a breakdown on everything that happened up to this point. Fortunately, there's not a lot to say up till Fusion. It's like Mother Brain's kidnapping Metroids in the original. Stop her. Wipe out all the Metroids. Do that. Mother Brain's back in the third game and has stolen the one lone Metroid that survived that you saved at the end of Metroid 2. Stop her. Metroid Fusion. X-Parasites do bad things, and all of a sudden things are not looking too great. Easily could get this summarized in that amount of time. But that's the cool thing. And I think it's a good idea to really break down all this. I mean, the first thing they say in the transmission from the dev team on Samus is many people know Samus from the Super Smash Bros. Series. And by the way, Zero Suit Samus is just Samus without her power suit. That's like they are breaking this down as much as possible so that people will not be confused and know what's going on like that. Like, so they won't look at Samus and be like, okay, but where's Zero Suit Samus? Who's she? Where's she come from? Like, they are really making sure that everybody knows what this is all about.
Yeah, and it makes sense. I feel like Nintendo has to know that the reception to Dread was really big, but probably not entirely from within the Metroid fan base.
Oh, absolutely not.
That is a good thing.
Good.
Yeah. I mean, that kind of, gives Samus a new lease on life, as it were. I am deeply excited for this. And yeah, it's very obvious that Nintendo want to drum up sales for Metroid Dread. I think they have that part pretty well covered at this point. I feel like they're definitely going to get the sales. I feel like it's more about bringing people further into the universe at this point, like letting people in, because Nintendo themselves have not done the best job of giving Metroid the attention it deserves. This is a series that has been criminally undervalued by Nintendo in the past. And I think they've started to realize that there are a lot of people out there that want this series to continue. And I mean, specifically, people don't want it to just be the Prime games. I mean, I know personally, as someone who came up playing the original 2D Metroid games. I like the Prime games, but they're like, I feel like the 2D Metroids for me personally are in a just totally different class. I feel like Prime is good, but the 2D series for me is just infinitely more memorable. I don't know. Are you more of a...
I would say 2D. I love Prime, but let's be honest, the original Prime is basically one everybody remembers. There's good things about both Prime 2 and Prime 3, and there's reason to be excited for Prime 4. Absolutely. But as far as memorable moments, I always think of the 2D Metroids first. But that said, Prime is quite good. I like both for what they add to it. You can invest yourself more into the world with the 3D Metroid games. And I think that's a key. I think that's a key thing. It's more of a what you want to get out of it. If you want good 2D action, you go 2D Metroids. You want more of a... I won't even say the action in Prime is fine, but you're definitely more of an exploratory about that.
That's definitely a really good take on that, because I agree with that. I feel like the Prime games shine best when you're exploring the environment and not so much when you're actually actively fighting. Whereas the 2D games, the action is much more intense for me personally in the 2D games. Mm-hmm. Whereas the exploration feels more like a puzzle to be solved in the 2D series for me.
There's something memorable about getting picked up by Ridley and just having to pump his chest full of missiles to get loose. Like you can feel that it's 2D and you're not in the helmet or anything like that, but you feel the desperation. And the combat does improve as time goes on with the Prime series. They probably could come up with something really good for Prime 4. But there's a reason they labeled this as first-person adventure, not first-person shooter.
Oh yeah, so absolutely.
There is that aspect.
I cannot wait to see what they do with Prime 4. I feel like we've got to see that hopefully next year. Hopefully.
Hopefully. This is a good distraction for people. Distraction. Even like the next, Metroid 5 is a distraction. Not really. But, I think this can only help Prime 4, especially if this is doing this well.
Oh, yeah. 100%. All right. Before we move on, though, God, I really want Prime 4 now, too. Anyway, before we move on, we do have, I think, a couple of super chat. One more super chat to read from Miggy Saito with a 50 Philippine peso donation. Says, I don't know anything about Metroid. Well, then, honestly, this Metroid Dread Report Volume 3 is probably a really good place to start. It has the most basic information about Samus, the Metroids. Like Derek said, it explains who Samus is and where you might know her from. Also, just as an aside, one of the final transmission from the dev team, in the preview for the next episode, as I'll call it, the next report, they say that they'll unravel the story of the series so far. So they're basically going to go through a retrospective of sorts on Metroid to get folks like you that aren't aware of what the series is or what it's about up to speed. And that way, if you're interested in Dread, you don't have to play through all those other games to get ready for it. I think that's a great way to invite folks in.
Between this and probably the story summary that they have at the beginning of Dread, I don't think if you can't play the previous ones, don't worry about it. You can jump right into this. And that's the key thing here. And I think that's good. I think that's definitely a good thing. It's very telling. I've always seen people talk about Other M. They never bring up Other M, even though it's part of the 2D Metroid series on the very technical basis. And that's because Other M adds nothing of value. The game plays fine. Story adds nothing of value.
I remember playing a little bit of Other M at a friend's house before it came out, and I just decided not to buy it. I was like, I had a pre-order. I had it paid. And I was just like,
I had Gamefly at the time, so I got it through that, beat it. I was like, I'm good. And then I picked it up later for my own collection when I saw it at a dollar store for like $3. I'm like, sure.
May as well. Yeah, $3. That's not bad. All right. I don't have a good segue for this one. I was thinking about something about cottage industries and streaming and all this stuff, but you know what would be less complicated? Just putting the story on the screen. So, who wants to be the Netflix of games? Well, apparently Netflix. So, this comes from Bloomberg. Netflix plans to offer video games in a push beyond films and TV. We've heard a little bit about Netflix has dabbled with gaming before, so it's not like a huge surprise that they would want to go further in. They've developed games for some of their successful shows, like the Stranger Things.
Stranger Things game.
I was thinking The Outer Limits for some reason. Stranger Things had a video game on the Switch. Dark Crystal had a game, Dark Crystal had a game that just, but Netflix was involved in the development of that game. And the report from Bloomberg indicates that not only are they looking to add games, but they're looking to do it within the next year. So this is moving forward pretty quickly. They hired some previous executives from both Facebook and EA to help this effort. And they've got job listings up publicly now that indicate that they want folks to work on a game streaming platform, both on the development side as well as the actual technological delivery. I gotta say, I don't have any faith in this.
No, none whatsoever.
Yeah, as an avid user of Netflix, that shit buffers, man. And it buffers frequently enough that I would not want to be playing a game on it. This is just, I don't know what the thought process, I know what the thought process is. Netflix is bleeding exclusives as the world explodes into a plethora of different TV streaming services, and they're trying to diversify. I get that part. But I feel like streaming video games is probably a lot more complicated and demanding than streaming movies, which Netflix isn't the best at. They're good, but I mean, I don't want, if I'm playing, let's just say Smash Brothers, which will never happen, obviously, but if I'm playing a game like Smash, I do not want my quality to drop. I don't want my stream to buffer. I don't want my inputs not to get read. And I mean, I think that some of the biggest tech companies in the world are struggling to get this right. And Netflix is not a name that I would throw in with them.
Yeah, it could be fine. I mean, theoretically, you have to offer a controller, but not really, because I have Netflix on my PS4. That's what I use that for now. Is pop it downstairs, have it on PS4, and good to go. So just use the controller for that would make sense. So I just don't see it offering anything I need or want.
The big thing for me is,
I guess people are throwing their games on Stadia, so why not?
Yeah, game streaming is something that I feel like companies are trying to make happen, but there isn't a ton of consumer demand for it. I wonder if we're going to end up seeing basically, so the one thing I'll say is that Netflix does have the distribution model in place to potentially make this successful, because Netflix is everywhere already. They're on every console, right? They have an app on every console. They have an app on most smart TVs. If you don't have a smart TV, you probably have a set-top box that can access Netflix. I would nearly guarantee every single person watching us right now is either already watching us on a device that also has access to Netflix or owns a device that has access to Netflix. And if they're able to somehow just get these other folks to play nice with them and say, hey, let us update our existing app so that it also streams games, that could be it would instantly become the most ubiquitous game streaming platform on earth.
Right. But it'd have to work well. And the other thing is, what would you, the average person, use? Would they go ahead and just use, I play with my PlayStation 4. Do I just go ahead and pop in the game that I want to play? Or do I use Netflix for it and it could buffer and all that stuff? I don't know. I mean, I almost feel like it has to have its own kind of exclusive in order to make that work, but I don't know.
Yeah. It is a weird prospect. Real quick, Mega Batman 487, it's germane to our conversation, with a $5 super chat says, Steve, they don't have Netflix on the Switch, which,
That's a good point.
That's true. And it brings up an excellent talking point. And that talking point is that a lot of these folks do not want, if the rumors are true, Nintendo doesn't want xCloud near the Switch because they don't want people going into Microsoft's ecosystem for games. And I would imagine that that's not an uncommon belief among tech executives and decision makers. Like, hey, we want to keep people in our ecosystem paying us for games. We don't want people having a streaming subscription model where they can use our hardware but go out and get games that we didn't get a cut of the revenue for. That could present an issue, but you're right, Derek. I wonder fundamentally, and it may just become a generational difference. We grew up with controllers and dedicated hardware that, we kind of have this model in our minds of how we play games, but our kids, are they going to care? Are they going to grow up in a Stadia-like future?
God, I hope not. No Stadia-like future for me, please.
Oh,
he's back.
Yeah, my internet's back. It's back online. I didn't want to go on camera yet, though, just to give you a second, Steve, to change the layout if you needed to.
Yeah, give me just a moment, man. I'm glad to have you back. All right.
Yeah, I'm glad to be back.
Let me get this sorted out real quick. What an episode it's been, folks. All right, Ash.
Right?
Go on camera right now. Yes.
All right.
Hey, we did it with minimal horror. All right.
Nice.
Well, you came just in time. We were talking about your favorite thing, game streaming. But we have one final story, and I knew you'd want to be here for this. I knew that you'd want to be here.
And actually, what's a good segue? Our donation from Jacob Mazza.
Yeah, so Jacob Mazza writes, Illumination's Minions Cross Minecraft DLC. Steve. Yeah, let's talk about that.
Hype.
So today, Satan announced that Minecraft would be getting Minions DLC, because apparently if you speak ill of something enough, it just gets willed into existence. So now we have to watch this trailer, which includes, I don't know, some crabs. It's telling you to grab your tools, but I mean, we all know who the tools in this trailer are. They're yellow.
Right.
Hopefully Nintendo's okay with us playing this trailer.
There's no audio. This will be fine. So we've never gotten in trouble for one of these where we just play like a trailer, but we strip out the audio. But yeah, there's just minions. Like, why? I mean,
yeah. I see Minecraft. I see Minions.
I've noticed something between Sonic and Minions now. They've kind of gotten away from just like taking the crafting and popping it over Minecraft. Now they seem to be just like, here, have a mini adventure featuring these things. Almost like Lego, the Lego Dimensions. It's odd.
I appreciate the giant enemy crab. That's cool.
Yeah. I love Rob Arman X in our patron chat says, Illumination watched TNT and said, fuck this Steve Bowling guy. Get Phil Spencer on the phone.
Yeah, right.
Definitely cranked this out in like 4 days. They're like, listen, we've got to move at a speed that brands normally can't to anger Steve Bowling from a minuscule YouTube channel, which, I mean, to be fair, maybe. Hopefully I haven't angered Phil Spencer and Illumination enough. I mean, can you kill... So my question about this is, can you kill minions in this? You can kill most things in Minecraft. I feel like there's a way that I could turn a negative into a positive, if you will. If I could maybe build a house and trap minions in the house and then maybe ignite the house. That would be a great use of Minecraft, really. I mean, maybe.
Right.
Just
I would get you to play it.
Yeah, maybe we could create like a maze, and at the end there's just a man with a gun. And he handles the minions. I don't know. I feel like there is some good that could come of this. I just don't know exactly how much good. Like, can you make buzz saws in Minecraft? Can you make acid? Can you like throw acid in a minion's eyes? Could you just subject them to like waterboarding? I don't know.
You're not even talking about just throwing acid on minions, but in their eyes, man.
Well, it's the focal point of their horror-ish design, not horror-ish. Horror as
there's perfect mispronunciation. That was amazing.
These whorish minions.
Oh, too good.
All I know is that there are some parameters that I could set up that would potentially get me to play this.
So basically, what you want is the minions in Sims, so you can do that whole thing.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. Like I can't be the only one that tortured his Sims, right?
Oh no, everybody did.
Yeah, like I remember I made my brother in the Sims 3. Yeah, Sims 3, and I demolished his house, and then I just put like a staircase going underground, and that was where he lived. There were no windows, there was nothing, and then I just filled it with urns so that anybody that walked into his house would just be inconsolable and cry the whole time until they starved, and then they in turn became an urn.
Oh my god!
This is really I've never really played The Sims much. This is really dark. I would like to think I wouldn't torture my Sims, but I can't say for sure. Only because I've never really played Sims.
I didn't play it either, but I had a friend who'd show me like, hey, check this out, and turn on God mode, made a house, put all kinds of flammable things in, and let their Sims burn to death. Yeah. Or let's make a pool and have no exit so they can't climb out. So
that is a classic. Sims torture move. My favorite was that I would put the Sim that I wanted to die in a room with several broken televisions and several gerbils, because they would either go to the gerbil and eventually get sick from interacting with it, or they'd try to repair the TV and electrocute themselves.
My God.
I probably shouldn't be allowed to play The Sims.
Probably not. Soulcaster asks if I played SimCity. Yes, that I have played, but I have not played The Sims. I would like to hope that I wouldn't be tortuous, though. I don't. Maybe, though. Maybe that's just what you do. Maybe you play The Sims and you just inevitably fall down a rabbit hole of devising new ways to torture.
I think it's
Sims.
like people making roller coaster tycoon and having death trap roller coasters. Like you make your normal ones, and you're like, I wonder what happened how far can I launch these cars and kill these people? Let's find out.
I guess I will take your word for it that that's what one does when you in those games. It just sounds so dark and violent.
It is.
But I have to call out something Bolt Mouse X said in our YouTube chat, because I had made the comment before that that minions are just budget serve bots. And Bolt Mouse X says, I can imagine a fan art of the GVG gang as serve bots. And I'm only saying that because when we tend to call out these things tend to happen.
Hell yeah.
And I want to see that. I want to see that.
That is a thing that we should will into existence. Yes. GVG serve bots.
That's a good thing to have happen. Because when we were talking about GVG as minions, that happened also, and it was a very dark day. But I think we need GVG serve bots to wash that away.
Yeah, exactly. Gosh. Exactly. Yeah.
Also, I wasn't here for this, but Netflix should not get into games. I don't want games streamed on Netflix. Fuck that.
Yeah,
I'm not into that. No, don't want it. No.
Yeah.
So I missed that, but I just wanted to say that.
Wow, you know what? Skull Kid Tiger, real quick, I just have to mention this. Skull Kid Tiger says Servbot GVG with Danimals, and I just realized Bongo and our good friend Bongo Lover have not appeared in this episode. I hope you're okay wherever you are.
Yeah.
I knew something was off today. Clearly, the power of Bongo Lover has prevented us from having a successful episode.
Right. Bolt Mouse X also says, Miss Tron. I just really wanted to do a Sirbot voice. That's all. I just wanted to say that. Yeah.
Real quick, it's not as part of the news stories, but I did want to bring special mention to it because it makes me very happy.
Oh, right.
Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart topped the June MVD sales.
Nice. Well deserved.
Thank goodness. And even Scarlet Nexus.
Scarlet Nexus slaps. It is so good.
That's what you said.
If you haven't played it, you have to play. I haven't finished it. I haven't had time, but god damn, is it so good? Like if you like 1000% weeb anime shit, Scarlet Nexus takes all of that and turns it up to 11. It is ridiculous from the start. It is.
That's so cool because
nice,
like a high def astral chain. Like I really love this game.
And you said, awesome. Steve, I think when I mentioned it earlier, you said that even if I kind of bounced off the demo, you think I might still like checking out the full game?
Yeah, the demo didn't do a lot for me either, but then I played the game and I was just like, oh, this story is so wild. Like, I have to see where it goes.
Gotcha. Really happy about Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart, though. That's awesome. It is so deserved. That's just fantastic.
You sequel teased me. You gave me some hope for a sequel at the end. I need it. Give it to me.
Give me a full-length Rivet game. I want a full-length Rivet game. I'd be so down for that. Really quick, I know my internet died during my answer to a Nerds Rambling super chat. Did that ever go through, or should I revisit that?
You did not say a word, so we have no idea what your idea of 3D Mega Man is.
Okay, yeah. So to remind everyone, a Nerds Ramblings did donate $20. Thank you so much. Saying happy to report stomach ulcer and infections are clearing up, doing better. That's awesome. A Nerds Ramblings, happy to hear that. Question for Ash specifically: what do you think of the concept of a Mega Man in 3D? It being a mainly 2D series makes it hard for me to get into, to be honest. Well, I've got good news for you because Mega Man has already been in 3D and it's already been awesome, and that's Mega Man Legends. You should go play it
I called this like from space.
Yeah, I figured.
See, I actually took obviously I think the question is, how do you take classic Mega Man and turn them into 3D? What would you do there?
Oh, if that's the question.
I gave my idea, but I'll tell you mine after you give me yours.
Oh man, I mean, we've had that attempt to happen with Mega Man X7 and X8. X7 is a terrible game. It was horrible having X in 3D, and then the worst parts of X8 are the 3D stages. So the track record isn't great, but that's not to say that I don't think it can happen. But I'm not sure if I have a strong idea for how that could happen. Perhaps maybe an on-rails shooter type thing, maybe?
Maybe.
What's your idea, Derek?
My idea was make it play like Ratchet and Clank. I was trying to think of a 3D platformer with a lot of gunplay, and boom.
Yeah. Oh yeah. If they can pull that off, I do think a 3D platformer shooter, like a Mega Man 3D platformer shooter, could happen. I just think that my faith in that, and the ability for Capcom to make that happen is a bit low, just because every time they've tried before, it has just been a big wet fart. But hey, if they want to give it a go, I'm down with the idea of classic Mega Man in 3D if they can do it right. But still, go play Mega Man Legends, Nerds Ramblings. Trust me, it's awesome.
Be sad there's not a Legends 3.
Yeah, and then join the rest of us who are heartbroken that there will probably never be a Legends 3.
That hurts. We didn't need to bring that up on a Friday.
You Naruto Burn My Dread. Speaking of things we don't need to bring up on a Friday, You Naruto Burn My Dread says Mega Man Other M. Oh, God. Oh no.
I'm just imagining that classic takedown that Samus does against Gut, and instead it's Mega Man doing against Guts Man, where he grabs across the face, brings him down to the ground, shoots him in the face to knock him out.
Oh God, that would be really dark to see Mega Man do that. Like that, really. I could maybe see X doing that, but and even that, I feel like X that'd be a little too.
That'd definitely
unless he's pissed off.
That'd be from the Zero series. Let's be honest.
Zero would, that's definitely more of a Zero series thing. Yeah.
All right. Before we wrap up and head over to the post show, Skull Kid Tiger with a $2 super chat says, if two games could have a crossover or switch games like Crash and Spyro on GBA, but actually good, which two would you choose? Me, Sonic and Mega Man swap. I would go with the classic answer on that, which would just be Sonic and Mario swap. I would love to see Mario and Sonic's world and vice versa to see how they would deal with each other's challenges. But more than anything, I actually just want them in a game together.
God, that would be awesome. I'm trying to. That's a good question. I'm trying to think of something. They switch places. I mean,
thinking how they kind of cross over in interesting ways they would work together. I think would be kind of interesting.
That's really good. I wouldn't mind. I'm going to say, I want to see let's let's say Kirby. I got a weird one. Kirby and Final Fantasy, classic Final Fantasy. I want to see a turn-based Kirby JRPG, but I also want to see a hyper cute, wacky Final Fantasy platformer. I want to see if that's even possible. I want to see if that can be done. Both of those can be done in a way that would be satisfactory. Mostly because I really would like to see a Kirby JRPG. I think that would be a lot of fun. But yeah, I'm gonna go weird and
I
say
like how
Kirby and Final Fantasy swap places.
How you basically pitch the opposite of Final Fantasy Origins.
Yeah, exactly. Well, FF Origins, that is not at all what I want from a Final Fantasy. Ugh, no. By the way, how did the
interesting characters crossing over? Like,
it's hard, right?
Like where they're similar but also different. That's kind of where I'm trying to go from here, because that's where I kind of see Sonic and Mega Man, because we have that Worlds Collide comic, and that's fantastic,
right? Which is cool, yeah.
But as far as anything else, I'm not sure. Like I was trying to think of an interesting crossover for Persona specifically, but I don't really have one.
I love Vedran Hotik's suggestion, Metroid and Alien. I'm like pretty sure that the Space Marines from Alien would just be completely screwed, and the aliens from Alien would also be completely screwed.
Yeah,
they're like, we were hunting this lady in like a cargo shipping thing, and she's been replaced by a badass in full body armor with a gun hand. Like, I would actually feel bad for the alien. I'd be like, you are fucked. Like, you should just.
Yeah.
I hope you're smart enough to run.
112 with an interesting idea in our patron chat: Chrono Trigger and Mega Man. So we have a platformer starring Chrono Trigger characters and a time traveling RPG in the Mega Man universe. You know what? Especially the latter, given all the different timelines in play in Mega Man, that could be pretty sick.
Yeah.
Not gonna lie, that could be pretty damn cool.
All right. Well, we have probably spent enough time on this. This would be the part of the show where, if it weren't like the weirdest episode we've ever had because of technical difficulties and all kinds of other stuff and biological fathers appearing at the top of the show, you know, just weird stuff. Normal things for a Friday. This would be where we'd ask our guest, who isn't here, where we can find him. I bet you can find me, Ash, and Derek right here at GVG most of the time. But Derek, I'm going to throw it to you, because there is another place where folks can find you. Why don't you remind our lovely audience where you are sometimes, besides home?
Oh my gosh. Most times. That's most times. I guess, I do my own personal streams over on Twitch, which is just twitch.tv/bitnerdgames, where I've been playing through 3 different games. I play Saturday, Sunday, and Tuesday. Saturdays, I'm playing Horizon Zero Dawn. Sundays, I'm playing Dragon Quest VIII, which is usually also viewer requests, because they have a reward for channel points. And Tuesdays, I'm working my way through the Ratchet and Clank series, though I'm going to be taking a small break from that once I finish Crack in Time, in order to play Fire Emblem Shadow Dragon, just to keep things moving. And I have all my VODs going up for those videos, as well as ones that I previously did as part of GX on my personal channel, which is at Bitnerd Games as well on YouTube. And just started uploading Pokemon Platinum's Nuzlocke there, which is really interesting, because I actually had face cam when I did that one, and boy, do I look different. That's the good influence of Amy.
Nice.
Because,
nice.
Ooh, I was feeling I was looking a little pudgier. Definitely looking a little pudgier. So having that
just more to love, Derek.
Yeah, exactly. Unprofessional Lewis in the YouTube chat saying play Yakuza. Once I beat Horizon Zero Dawn, that's actually Yakuza 0 is my next one.
Nice.
So
nice.
All right. So before
I guess.
Oh,
sorry, Steve, really quick. I guess this is probably a good time to also hype up the fact that, due to popular request in our Discord channel, our very own awesome GVG community member 112 is going to be our guest for episode 112 next week. So that'll be on Wednesday. So look forward to that.
Nice.
And hopefully Capcom, are you listening? Announce something Mega Man related, please. Let us talk about Mega Man when 112 is on, please. So, but yeah, that's going to happen due to popular request. We're really looking forward to having you on 112. And that's it. I know we got to go. I just wanted to hype that up really quick.
All right. Before we leave, I saved one for last. I had to skip this super chat. I want to end the week with good vibes. So, super chat for $5 from Canadian $5 from Dano. The artist says, "We now need to draw Minecraft Steve," in air quotes, by the way. He's talking about me, burning a house full of Minecraft minions. So, do with that what you will. Maybe, if you're up at night thinking about what a minion smells like when it's burning alive, draw it. I don't know.
Yeah.
Anyway, we could not do this show without the support of each and every one of you. Seriously, guys, some days it is hard to continue, but when you look at that patron list and just the amazing folks that we have in our community, it all is worth it. With that in mind, of course, we have to give an extra special thank you to our patrons at the producer tier and above. This show really, literally could not happen without you guys. Your support means the world to us. It literally keeps the lights on and keeps things running behind the scenes here at GVG. But as you know, as always, we have to give an extra special thank you to our folks at the executive producer tier and above. And those fine folks include Jared Edinger, Brandon Bovia, Rob Arman X, Idioto Ben, Dan and Twistle, Dennis J, Z Patty, Hyrule Hermit, Sky Blue Flames, Adam O'Sullivan, It's ATM, Octopuppet, Richard Herrera, Michael Phone, Aiko Carroll, The D-Pad, Vesmio, Waffle King, Kitty Kong Facts, Angel Martinez, Vedran Hotik, 112, John, Joshua Hunter, Evernight Studio, Benny Yao, Sapphire, Azran127, Pagrema, Kenrule09, Jake Pelka, Geller, Joseph Rutkin, Charlie Bird, Geeky Griffin, Lucky Wonderfish, Kyle, Top Dog 23100, Young Ben Kenobi, Doug Showmix, Andrew Medeiros, Orem M, Brady Power, Sakuragi, Becca, Rocks the Cat, Fizzywig Hoyd, Critmonger, The Legend of Groose, oddly appropriate right now, Eddie B, Kyed, Kit Fisto, West Egg, Deaneth, Coda, Michael McCaw, Matthew Wong, Goron Amber, Straight Lace, our episode sponsor, Justin Matthews, Hoobie, Too Much Spaghetti, Mega Conrad, Ascaron809, Kane, Captain Finlandia, 60 Minutes and 60 Seconds, Christopher Masterson, Spicy Pandaughter, The Game Orb, Dano the Artist, Grantles, Ravelox, Synchrolord, Brainchild, My Mom, Hi Mom, Kotar Peck, Scuff196, Skull Kid Tiger, AJB Cool, Blizzica, Jason Uloa, Jaden Buck, Phantom Project, Cystic Warrior 29, Darik, Ray Clausen Jr., Nathan the Voice Actor, Hulkamaniac 55, Chibi J, our good friend and unfortunate absence, Bongo Lover, Mumbling Yeti, and finally, Cameron Sharp. Woo! Remember, you too can become a patron over at patreon.com/gvgaming, where for as little as $5 a month, you can join us in our post show, which is where the three of us are headed right after this. Or if you don't want to support us or you aren't able to, just leaving a like, subscribing to the channel here on YouTube, or just listening to us on any of the major podcast services around the globe means the world to us. Anything you do to support us, we appreciate and love you for so much. With that in mind, that's episode 110 in the bag, folks. A really weird one. But just wait. It'll get weirder in the post show. We'll see you there. But until next time, guys, good night and good vibes. Bye, everyone.
Good night, everybody.
That is so good.